Are you in the market for a new RV but concerned the build quality is similar to a 5-year-old who's got their first Lego set? Or maybe you already purchased your majestic home on wheels that promised freedom but so far has only delivered regret? Either way, stay tuned. Today we're talking about the RV industry and finally answering that question, if all new RVs are junk. Welcome back to the Camping Loop. Anyone who's ever owned an RV can probably tell you, it's not all fun and games. Some of them are built with such abysmal quality, they make a 200,000-mile U-Haul seem like a better option. We get asked all the time, not only about the quality of our Coleman and how it's held up over the years, but if new RVs have problems right from the get-go, and what people should expect. To answer this question, there's a couple things you got to consider. And keep in mind, these are just our opinions. Yours might be different. Number one, it's an industry-wide problem that's absolutely not limited to certain brands or certain budgets. Whether you're spending 10 grand on a simple basic unit or 100 grand on something fancy, it's not going to guarantee you a trouble-free experience. Matter of fact, I've seen better construction at the neighbor's kid's lemonade stand than I have in some of these expensive rigs. Typically, the more fancy gadgets inside the unit, the more they can break, right? Think of it this way. Let's make the argument that a new RV, if properly serviced and maintained, should last about 15 years approximately. After all, that's the most popular loan term, so let's hope that they last until they're at least paid off. And using this math, you could replace a $20,000 unit 3 times for the same price as a $60,000 rig. So 3 times 15 years a unit, that's 45 years worth of camping for 15 for the same price as the other rig. I don't even have 45 years left. Now, obviously, more expensive units out there like Lance or Airstream, for example, they're going to use better build materials. But is it worth 3 or 4 times the price? A couple of months ago, we made a video of the worst brands out there, and you'd be surprised with some of the models that made that list. And we've gotten hundreds of comments on that video with all the problems you guys have had with all different sorts of models at different price points. It's not limited to budget brands. The second thing to consider is the COVID-era campers. That's a real thing. You guys remember the early days of COVID, right? We were all stuck at home, staring at the walls, and suddenly the RV industry is like, hey, we got the cure for your boredom, just add wheels. Why stay cooped up in your tiny apartment when you could spend weeks rolling down the road in a tin can with a microwave? So what's the problem with an RV that was built during the pandemic? Well, 3 things really. First off, the workforce. Between closing down the world and getting paid nearly $1,000 to sit at home, most guys that were in the industry for 10, 20, 30 years or skilled at it took a break. So most were constructed by a bunch of guys who are just as confused about social distancing as they are basic carpentry. Second issue with these campers, manufacturing shortcuts and a lack of parts available. Factories were so desperate for some items, they started subbing out tried and true technology and appliances for stuff that they could get their hands on, really. Cheap dorm-sized refrigerators, knockoff air conditioner units, cheap power converters. It was really a problem. And I don't know if you guys remember the cost of lumber, but it was up there. Third problem with these rigs, the price. With everybody looking to escape house arrest during those years, prices on these units skyrocketed, sometimes 2, 3, 4 times what they were actually worth. And of course, the dealerships didn't look out for anybody. Sometimes they were the ones that were starting the dealer wars or taking price points from different people over the phone to figure out who they wanted to sell it to, where they could make the most money. And hopefully, you guys didn't sign your life away on one of these units. We hear horror stories all the time of people that bought something 4 or 5 years ago. They're still making payments on it today, and they still owe double what the unit would have cost back in 2019. Third thing you guys got to consider, how often is your RV actually getting used? Are you one of these people who bought a brand new camper, used it once or twice, and then parked it in the lawn to sink? Or are you like us, full-timers who use it every weekend? Obviously, full-time RVing is going to put a lot more abuse on the rig, and some of them aren't built to withstand everyday use. We get asked all the time if our Coleman 17B could be used for full-time living, and honestly, I'd have to say, I wouldn't want to do it. There's not even a bathroom sink. Then, there's also the argument out there that not using your rig is going to cause all sorts of problems. A lot of owners out there use their rig like a kid uses their trampoline. Once a year, then it sits in the driveway collecting dust, waiting for the next family reunion. Which is fine, but the moment you go to use it, you're going to learn what RV stands for. Really vulnerable. Tires will become flat spotted and dry rotted. Condensation will build up inside, causing all sorts of mold and mildew issues. Your batteries will drain, your fuel will gel, your cupboards and wallpaper will start peeling. You're probably going to spring a leak somewhere. Parts can start deteriorating faster than untouched lettuce left over in the fridge. And you might think you're immune from RV issues if you're parked on the sidelines, but think again. The fourth thing we got to consider is maintenance and inspections. It's kind of like dating. You know, you don't want to skip over the red flags. Just because your RV looks good on the outside doesn't mean it's golden on the inside. And before you pull the trigger on buying, either new or used, you got to do your homework. I cannot stress how important it is to have a thorough inspection, even on the brand new shiny one right off the lot. And of course, there's maintenance. And we all know regular upkeep can make all the difference in the world. Simple things like checking your roof seals, flushing your tanks, even just a quick wipe down of every surface in there can add years to the lifespan of your RV. These are kind of like buying a car. There's some models out there that are doomed right from the start, and then there's others out there that haven't changed their oil in 12,000 miles, and the owners are complaining of engine failure. Now, obviously, new RVs are going to come with warranties and shiny new features, but that might not save you either. Time after time, we hear horror stories of people waiting months to get something fixed at the dealership that's covered under warranty, and there's nothing better than wasting the entire summer making payments on a rig you can't even use. Consider an older unit. Yeah, they might come with some character, but let's be honest, sometimes older technology is worth its weight in gold. So do I think all new RVs that are sold today are junk? Nah, there's quality issues across the board for every manufacturer. You might find one brand out there gets rave reviews and the other one's getting knocked for chirping out nothing but lemons. It all comes down to these key factors. And let's be honest, sure, it sucks finding out you bought yourself a lemon after you take it out on the first adventure, but there are plenty of people out there that absolutely love their new RV. It's all about knowing what you're getting into and investing in the right product. Do your homework, and you could be cruising down the back road in a sweet home away from home on wheels before you know it. And listen, if you found the video helpful at all, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and leave your experience down in the comments section. We want to hear from you guys, the good, the bad, and the ugly. As always, we appreciate you guys watching. We'll catch you in the next one.